donations and contributions to order, please. And Councilor Buzzer, would you do our invocation?
Yes, I will. Please stand. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather here today to take care of the business of the Cherokee Nation, keep your hand upon our council members, all the committee members. Remember our troops that serve here in the United States and overseas. Let us not forget the trail that our ancestors traveled. Let's keep those in our prayers. We ask all this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Kara Callan Watts.
Honey.
Bill Angler.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Julia Coate. Here. Brad Cobb. Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Jody Fishinghawk.
Here.
Meredith Fraley. Janelle Fulbright.
Here.
Don Garvin. Chuck Hoskin Jr. Tanya Gloria Jordan. Curtis Snell.
Here.
Chris Soap. David Thornton.
Okay, we do have a quorum. And our new business today are donations and contribution requests. And in the packet was a list of the requests. And then emailed out to everyone was a list with the recommendations and comments from administration.
Move to approve.
So the motion made and seconded that we approve the ones that were recommended for payment?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any discussion on those that are recommended?
Well, it's not discussion on those that were recommended, but I would like to point out that the very first one, I don't know where it came from, and it's attributed to me.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Buzzer.
Mr. Chair, on the ones for the Oaks Indian Mission and Cherokee Mission, I'd like to make those a multi-district distribution.
Okay. You're recommending that the Oaks Indian Mission be a multi-district
And the Cherokee Mission.
and the Cherokee Children's
Yes,
Mission?
Cherokee Children's Mission.
So, Mr. Chair, I'll accept the Scrivener's error, the correction that Mr. Baker, Councilman Baker, is not associated with the first one,
Okay.
and that the other two would be made multi.
Okay.
Second concurs.
Okay. So any discussion on those that were recommended for approval?
I'd like division. I'd like to talk about each one.
Okay. So the division has been called. So,
Mr. Chair, for clarification, point of information.
yes.
So that separates out each motion, and we will have discussion on each item separately. Is that what it would be then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So right now, we're going to discuss those that were recommended. Okay. And on the first page, the first one is the Cherokee Cornstalk Society, recommended by Bill John Baker and Tanya Gloria Jordan.
I got a different page.
I printed this out. That's,
Okay.
should be there. It's still on that. It's the same thing. I just printed it.
Okay.
Okay. So is there any discussion on approving item number 1 for the Cherokee Cornstalk Society?
And these are multi-district, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Any discussion? Then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So that passed unanimously. The next is the Cherokee Marble Society, which is also a multi-district, recommended for $500. Any discussion on that item?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
they made me a member of the Marble Society, so I'm not going to vote on this one,
Okay.
just so everybody knows.
Okay. Any further discussion on the Cherokee Marble Society? And all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Person.
The next item is on page 3, which is $5,000 for a statue for Sam Bradford at the Heisman Park in Norman, recommended by Principal Chief Chad Smith on page 3,
It's the third item.
third item. Yes, Ms. Fishing Hall.
I'm just curious of how that figures in community assistance.
Actually, these are donations and contributions. It's not community assistance.
Okay.
Yes.
Just for accounting purposes, would that be also a multi-district? Because it would probably have to be, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. And it is shown as a multi-district
Oh, did, okay.
on our sheet. Well, it isn't listed there, but on the sheet,
Oh, okay.
on the recommended awards, it is listed as multi-district.
And where'd this come from? What's the purpose of it?
Ginger, would you like to clarify that?
Well, keeping in mind that we receive approximately 10 to 15 requests per day, this is the only one that I put from the principal chief or from administration in this group. This is a statute. This is to pay for the entire statute. He's the first Oklahoma Cherokee who has received the Heisman Trophy, and a statue will be in his honor at the Heisman Park. It will be Heisman Park in Oklahoma City. It's a part of the Oklahoma Centennial, and he will be the only Heisman Trophy person that will be on there, and he will be Cherokee.
And
That was
will be
our
identified
recommendation.
as Cherokee.
I'm sorry.
And he will be identified as Cherokee in the
Yes.
statute.
Yes, he will. The other three, let me see, Benny Owen, Bud Wilkinson, Barry Switzer, Bob Stoops will also be, they will also have a statue in that park, and then Sam Bradford is Cherokee.
Okay. Councilor Fisher.
I'm curious, Ginger, why didn't it come out of his charities, his line item? I thought at budget time there was a line item in there for charity.
I don't know, I'll find out and get back with you.
Charitable, this is the
This is
charitable,
the
this is that
charitable
budget.
contribution.
Oh, so he don't have that in his budget no more? This is it?
Yes, it's through this subcommittee.
I think Doug went to go check on that, because I thought he had quite a bit of money in there.
There were certain items in the budget that were already in there identified, which we approved at the time. And then the balance of the contributions and donations were to be referred to this subcommittee.
And this project was not in that itemized list that you all have previously passed.
Move to table.
Second.
I need more information.
So the motion's been made to table this item and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Aye. Roll call, please.
Bill Angren,
To table or not to table?
Table.
Not to table. No.
Bill John Baker,
Yes.
Jack Baker,
No.
Hardy Buzzard,
No.
Julia Coates. No. Brad Cobb, Joe Crittenden,
Yes.
Jody Fishing Hawk,
Yes.
Meredith Fraley,
Yes.
Janelle Fulbright. No. John Garvin,
No.
Ted Hoskin Jr., Tyler Roy Jordan. Yes. Chris Soap, Curtis Snell,
Yes.
David Thornton,
Yes.
Carol Callen Watt.
No.
Seven to seven.
7-7, so tabling failed. Okay. Would you like more information?
Well, mean, we're not recommending some stuff that is really important that goes to Cherokees. We're sitting here with zero budget, and we're doing a $5,000 statue that's not going to help a single Cherokee that is out of work or needing housing or health care or anything, and it just kind of seems it's not the best use of people's money to do a statue in these economic times. Now, I mean, there's organizations out there that are really struggling, really dependent on us trying to help fill some of these gaps. And I mean, there's not even a council person that has stepped up to sponsor this.
So, well, actually, it's the recommendation, there's no sponsorship for any of these.
Okay.
I mean, it's the requested person.
Okay.
That's what we have.
Okay.
Okay. Councilor Thornton?
Yes, I was wanting to know the total cost of this statue.
I believe it's 5,000.
Do you have any description of its size?
We're the only one that is downside here. Hard to say. That was a pledge of 5,000. It doesn't
What now?
It doesn't say the total amount, but 5,000 is what they have stated that it is.
Who's paid?
The Oklahoma Centennial 07 Committee, Lee Allen Smith.
Are they not sponsoring any funding in this at all?
I don't know if they are or not. I'm
Well,
sure
are
the
we
cost
doing
is
this on
more.
our own? Is it just Cherokees doing this, or
I'm sorry?
is it just Cherokees doing this? Cherokee Nation, are they the only ones contributing to this?
I'm sure that the other 4 coaches on Coach's Corner will have someone to sponsor each one of them. That's the way I read this letter.
Councilor Watts?
Since we lack the additional detail I thought was available, I think we're gonna have to table it until the next
Second.
month.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded to table. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay. So that item is tabled. And also on page 3 is the 7th Annual American Indian Awareness Day. Harley Buzzard requested that. And it's for $750. Any discussion on this item? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. And then further down is the third from the bottom on page 3 is the Oaks Indian Mission. Request of $25,000, recommended for $10,000. So 15 children and 7 staff for Cherokee. So is there any discussion on that item? Councilor Baker.
How many kids are in the program and how many staff?
I don't have that information, but if I remember, there were 30 kids in the program. I don't remember the staff. I want to say 15, but I could be wrong on the staff. But I do remember the kids being 30 in that program.
I have that information.
You have the information?
Yes. We have 15 Cherokee children currently living at Oaks Indian Mission and 7 staff members employed by Oaks.
But do we have the total number of students at
The total number of
number of
students?
children there, or the total staff?
No, we don't.
But I was thinking it was 25 to 30, I'm pretty sure of those numbers.
Councilor Thornton?
Yes, Oaks Indian Mission, is this a mission that's sponsored by the Cherokee Nation Oklahoma? Do they pay for these teachers and these students to go to school there?
No, it's not sponsored. It's sponsored by the Lutheran organization.
Sponsored by a church?
By a church, yes. Kids come from not just Delaware County, but they come from different counties through the 14-county jurisdictional boundaries where they're coming from.
Are they all Cherokees?
There's, I believe they said there's 14, 15 of Cherokees, yes.
How many is there?
I think there's either 25 or 30 students. I'm not sure the exact number. It's either 25 or 30.
Councilor Snell?
I understood, I heard that there were only 15 students and 20 faculty.
Well, the letter says that what we got from the administration, that's what it says there.
Who's the administration, Shackle?
David Shackle is the administrator there. And I've been to 3 or 4 or 5 of those events up there, and I've seen a lot of Indian kids there at those events. I've been to probably 4 or 5 events. So I can testify that there are Indian kids at that mission up there. It's not only, you know, that if those kids, we weren't helping some of those kids up there, they're going to come to the nation to come into our Indian Child Welfare Program or other programs that the tribe has. So to me, this is a good investment for those, for that mission up there to help take care of some of the Indian kids. Because if it wasn't for them, they'd be down here in the Cherokee Nation as to lend that helping hand to those kids up there too. So one way or the other, we'd probably wind up, you know, help supporting those kids.
Councilor Jordan?
Well, I think it's a worthwhile project, but not having the information of whether they meet on this new form, the percentage of membership that are Cherokee citizens, I would ask that we table it and get that additional information.
Okay. Motion's been made to table. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded to table this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Roll call.
Kara Cowan Watts,
No.
David Thornton,
Yes.
Curtis Snell,
Yes.
Chris So,
No.
Hannah Gloria Jordan,
Yes.
Chuck Hoskin Jr.,
Yes.
Don Garvin,
No.
Janelle Fulbright,
No.
Meredith Frater,
Yes.
Jody Fishing Hunt,
Yes.
Joe Crittenden,
Yes.
Brad Cobb, Julia Coates,
No.
Harley Buzzard,
No.
Jack Baker,
Yes.
Bill John Baker,
Yes.
Bill England.
No.
9 yea, 7 nay.
Okay. So that item is tabled. Ms. Fishing Hawk?
Yeah, it says percentage of memberships that are Cherokee citizen. Ginger, are they sending blue cards into you, or are you requesting them, or what? I'm kind of curious.
At this point, it's not, I think there was from the conversation previously on the motion to table, it's not a requirement to be funded to be 51% Cherokee on either the organization or the people they serve. It's just an item we like to know when we're considering it, because it tells us whether they're eligible for other programs and what kinds of programs they might be eligible for. So while it's information we ask of the organization, we donate to all kinds of organizations like Red Cross, Special Olympics, and all kinds of organizations that aren't comprised of Cherokee, that's not Cherokee run. That's part of this budget. So it's not a question that we make the decision based on. It's just a factor in how we determine what they're eligible for. I just wanted to clarify that.
Can we go back over the minutes of that when we discussed that in here? Because I swore several of us brought up it needed to stay 51%. And look at that, because I'm kind of curious. I may be wrong, but during committee meeting, I think we talked about
Yeah, like the instance of the, centennial statue, the donation for that. We donate to similar kinds of things. We've donated to the Southwest Indian Arts Center. We've donated to the Oklahoma City Museum. And obviously, those organizations aren't Cherokee run, but, those were deemed worthy causes that we wanted to donate to.
Councilor Thorne.
One of the things that kind of bothers me on this one is the purpose of requests. We've got no purpose here. We don't know what this money's going to be used for. That's one thing we just got through griping about, sending it out to all the...
Now, are you referring to...
Mission.
You're referring to what?
Mission.
Now, that's already been tabled.
Okay,
So
but that's one of the things they need to think about.
Because right now, we have no...
Okay.
We're not discussing any particular item. Councilor
But
Hoskin.
then, I'd like to just discuss the purpose of the mission, the first request we put on the information sheet that we received. This new form that they come out with, I like the form. I think it'd be great. I think, I'm looking at the side. This new form, there's organizations and schools and different places that's going to request funding for my area, but they're not going to do it until probably the spring or summer or, late in the year. And the way this is going and the way it looks like it's going to happen, everything, all the funding's going to be gone. So, we need to think about that because we're tight with money right now and we're giving money away to different charities outside the nation and I hate to see not being able to supply funding for some of my groups down there that might be recommended. When you recommend the funding for one of your organizations or you're not going to get it if it's not recommended the way it looks like to me. But we need to think about that because I know later on there's going to be funding applied for and we won't have any funding to give out to these people or help them. We need to think about that also. Thank you.
Councilor Hoskin. I would, thank you. Councilor Baker.
Yeah, and folks, I'm a little concerned here in that, maybe there needs to be two pots of money. And because, I looked at this as pretty much the community assistance dollars that we don't have. And those had guidelines, 51% Cherokee, to help the communities and to, help the organizations within the communities. And, I understand what Melanie's saying, that, we help some of these other deals, but, if it's in a different pot of money, or comes to take out of this for, because I've got the same concern David does. We're going to have some important things come up as the year goes on, and if we've given $5,000 for a statue, and we've given money for this, that, and the other, then the little community organization that needs a helping hand, or the one of the groups that gets to go, the money's not going to be there. And so, maybe I need to relook at the amount of dollars in this fund and all, but right now it appears like anything that we give that doesn't go to help folks in our communities is something we can't afford right now. And because they're taking a big hickey at any rate, the way this thing has evolved and changed. So anyway, I guess I need to study that a little harder. Thank you.
Councilor Cummings.
I think one of the, Councilor Baker just used the word evolve, and I think that's a good word, you know, that we need to kind of focus, that we had something before that was called community assistance. And one of the things as I'm looking through this is to see that there's a column here that offers the alternative for the ones that are not recommended. This is, and so out of that, I think it should be clear to us that this is not community assistance. That's not what this is. This is contributions and donations, because an awful lot of what was being given individually before is in fact covered under other Cherokee Nation programs. And here we are given, you know, where those that are not recommended can go instead. You know, and properly should go to seek assistance from the regular programmatic support that the Cherokee Nation already offers. So I think that's one thing that we're going to have some difficulty becoming accustomed to, you know, exactly what this is, that this is not an exact parallel to the former community assistance things, and it wasn't intended to be. This is donations and contributions, and we look through this, and most of these things are not recommended precisely because there are other pots of money for them somewhere in the nation. And so that's why with Mr. Thornton's fear of things running out, you know, towards the end, I think that as long as you know, we see that maybe only a tenth of these, or 20% at most, have actually been recommended, that we can hopefully ease off of that fear a little bit as well. So I just wanted to make that comment.
Councilor Thornton, then we're going to get back to our items that have been recommended for approval.
There's been so many times in the past when these organizations or schools or have applied in other ways with the nation and they not received the funding. And each one of you all have experienced that. And that's the reason we come up with this, you know, to try to help people that fell through the cracks, that need funding. I've got a couple of people called now and wanted some contributions. One from Gore, Oklahoma, that has some children that are all Cherokee, and they want to go to Washington, D.C. And they're not asking for a whole lot, just, you know, $50, $100 a student to help them do this, along with the money that they have gotten out and raised. I don't see why we can't help these kids. Maybe there's some other alternative, but the other alternative hasn't come about in a lot of cases. And that's the only thing that
We're going to get back to, we have one other item that was recommended. That was on page 4, the second item, which is the Cherokee Children's Mission. Councilor Fisher.
We tabled Harley's because we was looking at, I'm going to be honest, I do not want to give any money, as tight as money is right now, to a organization that's got more non-Indian Cherokees in it than Cherokees. This is Joe and mine, and I will offer to table it until we get some blue cards in. It may not be a requirement, but I'm going to submit them because I believe our money needs to be going to Cherokees first.
Second. Okay. So the motion's been made and seconded to table. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. So that item is tabled. Okay. Councilor Watts first and Councilor Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So just to clarify, the not recommended is not that they're not going to get money, it's just that they've been recommended to other programs and not this pool of money, and that they will be worked with in order to access the money, such as the example with the Washington trip, they would go to the community youth grant program, and they would need to apply, and they can get up to $250 per student, and not just $50 if they apply under that. And so I just want to make sure that not recommended is not that they're not going to be assisted by the tribe, but that they're going to have to go to other programs and not this particular pot of money. And then the other thing is if we're going to be consistent, then out of this meeting, were the first two that we approved, were those numbers provided on both leadership, the percent of Cherokee, as well as Cherokee served and membership?
talking,
That's already been approved, so.
are we talking about the Marble Society and the?
Yeah, I'm just asking.
Yes, I mean, they're 100%.
Okay, just for the record, they just needs to be clarified so that we're consistent if we're gonna continue down this path, that's fine.
Okay. Counselor Jordan.
If I understand the law correctly, we've had 9 turned down, myself and Mr. Baker. Can we now move those to, it says funding request may be considered by the council for an appropriation pursuant to the normal appropriation process. Can we ask now that those be moved to ENF for future consideration as standalone to be moved into budget mod?
Yes, you may make that motion.
Okay.
And I'm gonna second it, but not the deferred right now.
Right.
Give them time to see.
The ones that I have identified, not the deferred and not the one that we don't know how it even got on there, would be the Junior Miss Cherokee Contest, the Cherokee National Day of Prayer, the Sequoia High School Art Award, Elm Tree Baptist Church, we don't have the first one right there. Reaching, the Roth Group, Reaching Our Harvard Community, the Shiloh Christian.
Well, you're moving all of the
School.
ones that are not recommended.
Yes, yes, of ours, except that first one. We're not sure how that first one even got on there.
But is your motion for all not recommended that's on our list? Or
Just the ones for Cherokee County, because I didn't know what the others wanted to do. I'm certainly open if they want to move all of them. If that's the, well, I just make a motion to move all the not recommended to the ENF, the next ENF committee
And I second
meeting. That would be the fair thing to do.
Okay. So the motion's been made and seconded to move all not recommended to the ENF for discussion at that time. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Councilor Fraser, yes.
Tanya, are you talking about just these particular ones, correct, and not future funding requests? Just these particular ones?
I guess we do it month by month was what I was assuming. I can't tell from this law, but I think it would have to be, they'd have to be not recommended, and then we would make a motion to move them.
Okay, on a monthly basis. Okay.
Okay. Any further discussion on the motion? Yes. Yes, Councilor Blizzard.
I heard either Ginger or Melody say a while ago that they get 15 requests a day over to administration. I'd like to see that list also.
We can provide that.
Okay.
See what they're
So
trying
you'll
to-
provide the other requests from the administration. Okay. Okay. Councilor Fraser.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, I forgot. There are 2 that I had submitted that are not included on the list. And is there any particular reason why? And they just dropped somewhere in the process?
Must have been, what were
Okay.
they?
One was to show, I remember the foundation. The other was to Ribbon Baptist Church in Saginaw.
Okay, we had confirmed with Gail that this was all of them. Do you have those, Gail?
No, those are not submitted by the others, submitted directly to
Yeah,
Diane.
the ones that don't come to me, I don't have.
The Ribbon Baptist Church?
Uh-huh. And I can't remember, it's an acronym for some foundation instead of.
So you will check on those for
Yes.
Councilor Fraley for next month?
Yes.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay. Any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. So all the not recommended will be moved to ENF. Okay. Is there any other new business on this?
Move to adjourn. Oh, sorry.
Councilor Fishing.
I'm just curious, I got a question for admin, because I had put in a request for our summer youth for field trips, because they raise money on their own, because that's part of their agreement that they will hold a fundraiser, matter of fact, 2 of them, and donate the money to charity. And I noticed you all referred to Cherokee Nation Community Youth Grant Fund. I brought up some birth certificates. I had talked to you all about this problem we've been having in Adair County a year or 2 ago, and you all said you would look at it and see what we could do about it. Because paternity birth certificates are running $40 a piece, and we get quite a few of them, and you all referred to Community Youth Grant. I'm afraid that my 4-H September Fair is going to be referred to the Community Youth Grant. The art competition was referred to the Community Youth Grant, and so was the ORES rings. I'm curious, how many times are we going to use the Community Youth Grant?
For individual assistance, we probably will refer most of them to community use in those instances.
And how much is that amount going on?
We increased it during the budget process. Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I know they're eligible for $250 apiece in that.
It was
I know last year
300, and then it went down to 200, now y'all brought it back up to 250.
With no income limit. You know, we had 300 for low-income students, 150 for over-income. We merged the two, no income limit now. So any income level child is eligible for 250. Last year, we funded and increased community youth because it was deemed a worthy program. We had a lot of demand, so we increased the budget a couple of times, if I recall.
Councilor Crittenden.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is this the form now, is this the form we're going to use in the future for the application process? I mean, is that the way it's going to look? Melanie, are we going to redo this or what?
That's what we've drafted for that purpose, to try to collect some basic information on each application that's coming in. What we also did was include on that form, when we do research about what programs they're eligible for or funds they've already received, it can all go in the same form for tracking purposes.
Yes.
Well, there's one block on here that says percentage of membership that are Cherokee citizens. I think I heard a comment a while ago that we weren't going to hold them to a 51% or essentially, I guess, approve whoever we wanted to, regardless of the percentage of Cherokees. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's not a requirement for a donation from the nation. As you all know, we approve donations to a lot of different groups. We do like to have the information so that we know where to refer them if they're eligible for a program. We'll know if they're eligible for CAUTA, for instance, or Community Works.
So we took a program that was working, the General Assistance or Community Assistance Program, and we gave it a new name, Donations and Contributions.
Well, we already had that budget.
That's kind of like a spade and a shovel. They both dig holes, but they have different ways or sounds. It's just like this deal for this statute. I have nothing against the young man. I think he done a great thing. But I've been in a lot of places where they've had statues, and some of them from time to time become roosts for certain types of things. But beyond that, the money is going out of our district that some of our people need, and that's a problem I have. Just some comments. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Watts.
Thank you. And just to I guess, refresh everyone's memory during the budget process, I know I personally worked with the administration to look at past history of where general assistance, what used to be termed general assistance monies went, and that's why we created the separate budgets for the 4-H or the county fair monies. We created the separate budgets or increased existing budgets to serve a lot of individuals, especially that were getting monies under this prior, and then we separated out what was donations and contributions for this and created this process around it so that it would be more transparent and more engaged for the Cherokee people that were all involved, including bringing the chief's money over. So maybe that'll help clarify what seems like some of the ongoing confusion that some people may have. So
I don't have any confusion.
thank you.
Councilor Jordan.
I guess I just need a point of clarification. On the premium show winners and the ball teams, is that coming under these rules too? Or is that, as we discussed in the budget process, more or less automatic? They apply if they're Cherokee and they're a premium show sale winner, they get the $100. without further process, if they're a ball team that is able to turn in the 51% Cherokee membership, they receive the funds from the ball team set-aside money. I guess I'm directing that to the chair.
Right, it does not come through this.
So it's not
donations and
this.
contributions, because it's not part of this budget.
Because I believe Curtis told me their show is January 29th. And so it's gonna come up real quick that the premium show money or that type of money is gonna need to be accessed. And I didn't know if it had to come through this process or if we're all still of the understanding, as we understood in the budget process, that he submits his names and their blue cards and they get their $100.
Okay, I know it
Is
does
that
not,
the
it does not go through this, but we will address administration. Melanie, excuse me. Now, you have procedures in place for the livestock shows and the sports team?
We have draft procedures ready. Those two lines, it's my understanding they're reserved by appropriation in your budget process. So we would request at your next E&F meeting that you lift the reserve so that we can expend those funds. But yes, we would have a policy. They're a separate program from this process, and we would just administer the policy as the counselor suggested.
So if they make the sale, we give the names to you and you all, and we'll attach blue cards, because in this county, they ask for the copy of the blue card.
I think we
And
are
just
going to
give that
rely on the
you.
sale barn to do that kind of process for us, so that we don't have to deal with individuals.
Well, now, I
at the
think
sale.
we're the only ones, though, that are gathering those blue cards up. You may want to make sure everybody understands that's what's got to be done.
Right.
Y'all do
I
it
think
over
that's
there?
what we're going to
Okay.
expect others to do as well, so that we don't have to create a large process for it. It can be done pretty expeditiously.
But you'll have those procedures. that are
And we can
in there.
distribute those for you so that you know what they are.
Okay, good, thank you. Councilor Thornton.
On these, funding requests for these livestock shows, these are not through the barn out there, FFA. This is through the 4-H and the FFA program, and that's what they're paid through. So you need to go to your people down there and have them check their children and make sure that the ones that make the sale, if they're Cherokee, they'll receive this. That's what I understand. But to talk about the community youth grant, I don't know what all that covers. There are several activities during the year that these children are involved in. Now, if they receive, this, to me, in the last time I checked, it was $150 to $300. But if these children have already applied for that, in other words, for an activity, and then they come up with a deal that the school, the JOM program, or they're trying to raise money to take these students to Washington, well, can they qualify for that youth grant again in the same year? And if they have other activities that they do, can they qualify for it more than once, or can they just apply for it once during the year?
They can only get a maximum of $250 once per year.
Okay, then that's per year. Then if they have already
So if they
received
get
funding on an
sponsored on one
activity,
thing.
they can't apply for any of that funding at all.
Yeah, not for multiple sponsorships. No.
Okay, then that doesn't cover them all. Thank you.
Councilor Hoskin.
I just wanted to follow up on a suggestion I made by email about the percentage of membership that are Cherokee citizens on the form. My recommendation is that it read percentage of membership that are Cherokee citizens and percentage of individuals served by the organization. There may be occasions where the group of people that are served are, easily a majority Cherokee, but perhaps the organization isn't. The other thing I would, and I realize this document that's titled Donations and Contributions, January 11, 2009, I realize this is admin's document, so leave it to them to put the headings they want on it. I guess I don't understand, I know it says it in the statute, why it even says recommendation. That'd be in the 1, 2, 3, for the 5th column. It ought to say reject or approve, because recommendations suggest that this committee has an ounce of discretion as to what the administration says. The fact of the matter is we don't. So my suggestion to the administration is to strike recommendation and just be clear that it's whether the chief approves or rejects it. I think that'll make it more clear. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sure. Okay, Councilor Fishing.
I was gonna ask Mel, how does our HUD and NAHASDA money come to us? Is it based on our enrollment? Our portion of it, I'm kind of curious.
Indirectly, NAHASDA comes to us, they primarily base the data off the census data. So as you all know, that's self-reported, it's not enrollment,
So we don't use our blue cards for any kind of funding from the federal
Not
government?
directly, no.
Just indirectly?
Indirectly, it's, well, as you know, census, you don't have to have a blue card to report yourself as Cherokee. So about 700,000
I'm
people.
curious if it's worth $40, $25 to have an enrolled member.
You
of
probably
the
can't,
board.
you probably can't have, make that direct a tie to citizenship, no.
Okay. As our time's running out, I have 2 more people to speak, and since we finished our business, I will just recognize those 2 and then ask that we adjourn. Councilor Jordan.
Yes, Melanie, I want to make sure now I understand. Is some of the kids that win a premium show sales slot that would be eligible for the $100 have already gotten the youth grant? Are you saying they can't get the $100?
No. What I'm saying is they can't get multiple community youth grants. They can get grants from other programs
Okay.
that they're eligible for.
So, as we discussed in our budget committee, that's a reward for their good work rather than...
And it doesn't
Yeah.
affect their eligibility for anything else.
Okay, so they're still entitled to the $100. Now, if we have a young person that shows up on a youth ball team group, and maybe they have received the $250 as a youth grant, we're still going to let that ball team group receive their group money.
That's true. You know, whether they're a member of a Boys and Girls Club, get an after-school program, what have you, it won't harm their eligibility for other programs.
And those things will not come through this committee. They will just be given to you all, and as the council dictated in the budget process, you will then
We
see
just
that...
run the program.
Okay, all right.
Councilor Fulbright.
Councilor Jordan's question was what I was referring to.
Okay.
I don't need to speak. It's clarified. Thank you.
Okay. Sure. Motion made to adjourn. Do I hear a second? Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.